同学们好。
老师好。
老师好。
Thank you. Hey, Rogelio. Great to see you.
Hello.
It is the 24th of July, so we are in the middle of playing around with elements of the hand form. Last week, we worked on brush knee, getting into brush knee, getting out of brush knee. Brush knee was the first and, in a sense, the biggest one, the stereotypical one of the bow stance where we deliver energy with the crossed hand. I don't know of a term for this, but there are two ways of delivering energy. If my energy arm is opposite or it's the same side. So today we're going to do more of these, and then next week we're going to do these. And after that we'll do other things. So that's the agenda for today. We'll also keep doing some of the exercises, and we'll do the transition game. We'll practice a little bit of the form, do Q&A, lots of things, and hopefully we don't run out of time too soon. So let us begin with a little bit of standing practice. Our essential of the month is coordinate upper and lower, which is actually about energy going from the feet through the waist, the chest and the arms. But for that to work, you need to be soft, and to be soft you need to be relaxed. And the two ways we practice relax is standing practice and the sequence. That's why we do standing practice today. Feet shoulder width apart, a little bit wider if you like. Feel the weight on your feet on the bubbling well, so even front back, bend the knees. Feel the crotch rounded, weight even on the inside and the outside. Round the arms. And we'll spend just a couple of minutes here. You know the drill with the posture checks, but let's do some of the combinations in slightly different ways. So feel the crown of your head lifting up, and then feel your breath sinking into your belly. So as the head rises up, you're breathing naturally. And breathing flow is a good indicator of whether you are in fact relaxed. So now we're going to round the back, which opens the spine left-right, and at the same time relax the waist down, drop the hips down. So now you're opening your back left and right and up and down. Extending your elbows out to round the back. Maybe we'll lift your shoulders, so feel your shoulder sinking, feel the elbows dropping. And again, relax the waist, drop the hips straight down, round the crotch. To do relax, you want to soften and extend. What this practice helps us do is just be a little longer. So feel your legs stretching, feel your spine stretching. Feel your arms from the spine to the shoulders, to the elbows, to the wrists, to the fingers stretching out. And as you do the stretch, check your breathing, because when your breathing tightens up, you know you've stretched too much. So let's just stay there for another minute, and you can drop your arms down, keep them rounded by your waist if it's too hard on your shoulders. So think about your posture. Check your breathing. soften and extend. Tai Chi is about yin and yang, so it's about pairs of things. It's about stillness and it's about movement. So we've done stillness. Let's slowly get into movement by doing the gazing at the moon exercise. So slowly drop your arms down, straightening the legs, extend the arms up, feel your spine extending, feel your arms getting longer. Now press down to in front of your waist. And do this at your own pace, as slowly as you'd like, to make sure that you're feeling that extension. Don't try to match your breathing this time. Just feel the softening and extending as you now slowly start moving your body. But as you're moving, keep checking your posture. Head up, shoulders sinking even though your arms are going up, chest absorbed even when you're rotating your arms open, hips dropping all the time. Last time, so when you get to the bottom, just stop there and we'll all finish together. So just pause when your palms get in front of your hips. And we're all there. Just straighten the legs, hands by the side of your thighs. And release. Okay. Good. Any questions? So let's continue to warm up and practice softening. We'll do the form. Third section, we'll do the first 2 chunks today, and then we'll do a few exercises. So I'll practice in the same direction as you, and I'll call the movements. So that's the front. So we're going to start in prepare, but we're going to go into cross hands. So what I'd like you to do is just when I say cross hands, just raise the arms and bend the knees. So this will be our starting position. So we'll go from prepare to cross hands. And then at the end, we'll get to single whip after doing a bunch of stuff. And then we'll go to cross hands from single whip. So close the feet, cross the arms to here, cross hands, and then we'll just do closing. So we'll make a little form from beginning to end using a part of the third section. Okay, so prepare. Cross hands. Embrace tiger. Return to the mountain. Roll back. Press. Push. Transition to diagonal single whip. Single whip. Wild horse parts its mane. 1. 2. 3. Grasp bird's tail, left ward off. 4. Right ward off. Roll back. Press. Push. Single whip. Fair lady work shuttles. 1. 2. 3. 4. 'Grassbird's tail. Left ward off. Right ward off. Roll back. Press. Push. Single whip. Cloud hands. 1. 2. 3. Single whip. Snake creeps down. Golden rooster stands on one leg. 1. 2. Step back. Repulse monkey. 1. 2. 3. 'Diagonal flying. Raise hands. Step forward. White crane. Spreads its wings. Left brush knee. Needle at sea bottom. Fan through the back. Turn body, white snake spits out its tongue. Parry, block and punch. Step up, grasp bird's tail. Right ward off. Roll back. Press. Push. Single whip. And we'll stop here. So from single whip, cross hands. Closing. Original position. Stop. Okay, hey Judy, good to see you. Okay, any questions about any of those movements or any movements at all? I was looking at our practice from last week. We actually did the first chunk of the third section, and there were a few things that I noticed, but they are actually going to be in movements we're going to be revising today. Things like parry, block and punch, things like Fair Lady work shuttles. The only thing that I wanted to mention, since it's actually about the essential of the month, which is from the root in the feet through the legs, waist, arms, is when we do parting wild horse's mane. And this is not an issue that all of us have, but just check with yourself to see if you're good on this, is to remember that when we do parting wild horse's mane, and the same is true for diagonal flying, the arm movement is mostly a waist movement. It's not the opening of the arms happens largely because of the opening of the chest, because of the turning of the waist. It's not just the arm movement. So why don't we just practice that together, and I'll go in the same direction as you, and we'll start from single whip and just attend to that movement, and I'll call it out. So we start in diagonal single whip, so we're going single whip to the front left corner, which is the southeast, so we're in single whip. And because we're in diagonal single whip, our whip arm is to the side and the striking hand is to the corner. Fair Lady work shuttle, shift, close the front foot more than corner, less than straight. Now sitting back, close the right arm, keep your chest open to the left, root. Now as you come across, turn your body, turn your chest to drive your arm open. Now sit back, open the right toe slightly, do a grab with the right hand, close the arms, look down over your right elbow, shifting forward again with body turning, open the arms. Number 3, sit back, wait, open the left toe, grab with the left hand, close the right arm under the left elbow, look over the left elbow, shifting weight forward to the right. Again, body turn to the right. Hold that closing posture for a second. Just check that your left hand is in front of your hips. The left fingertips and the right fingertips are actually pointing towards the same corner, lesson corner direction. Your right arm is straight, Tai Chi straight, so not locked, but certainly not like this. Your fingertips are about head height, and you're looking up, unusually for us, looking up over the fingertips. Okay, that's, from what I can see, that's looking good. Good. So we'll talk about a few of the other things as we go through those other movements. What I'd like to start with now is to just do a few exercises, redo the exercises we did last week. We're not going to do them every week, but hopefully once we've done them 2 or 3 times, you can either decide to do them on your own time or not. Any questions before we go on?
No.
Okay, so last week what we were doing is we were actually practicing shifting weight forward and back. And if you think about the essential root, you coordinate upper and lower, it's this wave of energy that starts rooting in the feet, generated through the legs, comes through the hips, into the chest, through the waist, then the chest closes. I break it down for myself, so maybe that's useful for you. I'll practice facing you this time. I'm going to mirror. So when I say, so I'm holding up, if you hold up your left hand, we can do a DD high five check. So let's start in a right bow stance. So to begin with, we're just going to go back and stop and go forward and stop. And what I want you to do when you're doing this is push with the back leg and then hit the brakes with the front leg so that you can feel that judder as you stop, and then the same going back. So let's do that. So 1, 1, forward, back, 3, 3. And if you let your arms swing, you can see how your body wants to keep moving. 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9. Now we're going to add the chest moving. As our body comes forward, we're going to push our chest out using our lower back. So again, we're just going to separate forward and back. So going back, 1, chest goes back, forward, everything forward. 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. So push the chest out as your body goes forward. 5, 5. Bring the chest back as the body comes back. 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10. What we're going to do now is, what we've been doing is go forward, stop, come back, stop. So now I want you to imagine doing a wave. So you come back and then return without stopping. Back and forward, back and forward. So that's one circular movement. Again, we're still in a left bow stance. So we're going to do the legs and the chest. So back and forward, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Adding the next bit. Here we're just going to isolate. Don't worry about the legs. What I want you to just feel here is push your sternum, the center of your chest, forward, and then the rest of your body will follow. So the sternum will come forward first, and then you'll feel the shoulders closing. If you want to think about this in terms of techniques, this is a shoulder strike. We're not worrying about the elbows or the palms. We're just thinking about the chest here. Okay. So back. So don't worry about the legs. Just go the chest forward. 1. Back, forward, 2. So swing the chest forward so that the arms swing around. 3, 4. This is just your lower back making your chest move. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're going to add it all together. So back and 1, back 2, back 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So far we've been doing a vertical waist movement forward. Now we're going to start at the back and do a horizontal waist movement. So this movement. So you're going to start with your chest open in the direction of your back foot. As you come forward, bring your chest to square. So 1, 2. So almost as if you're striking with your right shoulder. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're going to do the other direction. So you're going to start with your chest open in the, for you, left side, and as you come forward, you're going to do a strike with your left shoulder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Change footwork. Now we're on the right bow stance for you. I'm mirroring. Same sequence. So first we're just going to go backwards and forwards, just the legs. So back, forward, back, forward. 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10. Now we're going to add the chest and the legs going back, and then chest and the legs going forward. So back, forward, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10. Now one movement starting at the front, going back and going the wave going forward. So back and forward, 1, back and forward, 2, 3, one movement, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now let's just practice this chest movement. Chest goes forward, then the shoulders close. Just isolate it if you want. So chest forward, arms, chest closes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Put it all together. Back and forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now we're going to do the horizontal movement. So you're going to start chest open in the direction of your back foot, your left foot, and you're going to feel as if you're striking forward with this left shoulder. So 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're going to do the other direction, striking with your right shoulder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So just, and that's the end. I just want to point out, so for example, if we're doing a brush knee or a parry block and punch, that's this strike. If we're doing a thrust palm, that's the other one. So those are the two directions where we use a waist turn. I got that. Thanks, Judy. Okay, good. We are going to move on to some stepping exercises, unless there are questions. Go ahead, Rogelio.
I think it was in the third sequence when you said go back and forth without stopping.
Yes.
Like in a, and you said actually in a sort of a circular motion.
Yes.
Up to that point, I was just going horizontal straight back and forth. So I thought about doing a little bit up and a little bit down, going back and forth. It feels very different.
It does.
And then do it backwards. Is that something that you can add? It's very subtle, but it makes a lot of difference.
It makes a huge amount of difference. Thank you so much. The check is in the mail for that leading question. What's great about that, and I didn't do that because once we get into those kinds of things, we start getting into the permutations. So when we talk about the chest forward back, right? We start about going forward, go back. But here we're just going in a straight line, right? There's no circle, but we know we need a circle. So there's one circle where the chest goes down at the front and then up, down at the bottom and then forward around the top. And then there's another one that goes the other way, right? So that's two more permutations. So when you are actually moving your chest forward, one way of doing it is to think about doing this. So come back. And when we do the form, the hands actually tell us what the shape is for the waist movement. Okay. So for push, it's here. It's this circle. And actually for striking opponent's ears, it's the other one. So yes, absolutely, Rogelio, add those other circles. Now, the other thing, of course, that you can think about is when we did the left and the right. So here we're talking, I essentially said, go to one side and then come back, horizontal circle. But we know that we should put a figure 8 in. Now, with a figure 8, there's two possibilities. You can go down and up, or you can go up and then round the bottom, down. So you can go back this way and forward this way, or you can go back this way and forward that way. So when you do those exercises, try both those permutations. And and very quickly you will have, instead of doing 50, you will have done 100. Great question. Thank you.
Just a bit everything.
Yeah, right.
Thank you.
That's right. Okay. Let's do a little bit of footwork. There's so much to talk about. What I want to do is just to review the footwork that we're going to use in the movements that I'm going to be talking about today. So last week we talked about brush knee, how to get into it, how to get out of it. There are several other movements where we also do brush knee. We end up in a brush knee-like stance, right? So front leg, crossed arm. So one of them is this. One of them is parry, block, and punch. Another one actually is turn body chop with fist. Another one, in fact, is, if we go from here, Fair Lady Work shuttles. So this is also effectively a brush knee-like stance where your striking hand and your forward leg are crossed. So let's just do the footwork for a few of those, and then we'll review the body and the arm movements. Okay.
Embrace Tiger, Return to Mountain is also one of those, right?
It is. That's on my list, and there's a reason why I forgot it, which is it's essentially brush knee.
Okay.
It is just the brush knee. But thank you. Yes. So why don't we actually start with that one? Embrace Tiger, Return to the Mountain. Because that's a reasonably simple footwork, but it's a way of, if you think about footwork, we're going from a parallel stance to a bow stance. So if we start feet parallel, shift weight slightly to the right, turn the left toe in, pick up the right foot, heel, ball, toe, step out, land, heel, ball, toe, bend knee. And now you're in a bow stance. So you've gone from one bow stance to the other. The direction of your left foot will determine where your right foot is, because you want 45 degrees. So for example, if I turn my left foot to the corner and I step out into a bow stance, my right foot is actually going to be too straight because I've got 45 degrees between my back foot. If, on the other hand, when I do the transition, let me go in this direction. if I start here, no, here. If I start here and I turn my left foot all the way to the side and I step out, my right foot in fact is going to be to the corner. So where you end up will depend on how far your left foot turns in. That's up to you. It's entirely your call. So that's a pretty straightforward one. The next one is the sequence from essentially grass birch tail, punching down, turn body, chop with fist, parry, block, and punch. And that's actually going from one bow stance to the other. And in terms of our movements, they're all in this category. And I don't know what to call this category, you know, the cross arm leg one. So let us start, for example, in a right bow stance. And we're going to do punching down. So we're essentially going to go to another bow stance. So open the right toe, step through into a left bow stance. Now we're going to turn around, go 180 degrees the other way. So turn the left foot 135 degrees. Sit back, wait, pick up, heel, ball, toe, step out, heel, ball, toe, back in a bow stance. Now we're going to go to parry, block, and punch. And in fact, what we're going to do here is we're going to pick up...
Good afternoon.
Myself. Good afternoon. Zoom meeting.
Hello. Okay, so we're going to pick up the right foot, step it, center line to side, step through left foot into a bow stance. Now, one of the things I just want you to check is your bow stance, because some of us tend to be, not all of us, end up in a bow stance that looks something like this, where you can see that my shin on this leg is quite bent and my back leg isn't straight. So what I want you to do is make sure that you have your shin only slightly off the vertical with the front leg. So the shin is here and the back leg is straight, and then the torso is tilted. So the bow stance is not like this, it's like this. Let's do that sequence again. So we're in a right bow stance. We're going to keep going in the same direction. Go to a left bow stance. Turn, going the opposite direction, shift back, weight, turn the left toe 135 degrees, shift back, weight, pick up the foot, root with the heel, step forward. Now we're going to do a transition step, shift, weight back, pick up the front foot, put it down, center line two sides, right foot to the corner, step through into a left bow stance. So that's one sequence of footwork.
Now, you have a question on that.
Yes.
First of all, I'm definitely guilty of over bending my front leg. It's a 30-year bad habit I'm working on, but that's definitely me. But when you're going in the transition step from the bow stance to the transition step, you're just moving your foot in?
Right.
Like if you were actually doing parry, block, and punch?
I would actually bring it in.
You would bring it in more?
I would actually bring it in. So from here, I would actually bring it in. Because if I just close it in, it feels as if I'm not getting that forward momentum that I need.
Okay.
What does it feel like for you?
Yeah, well, I usually do, but it didn't look like you were doing that in the steps, so that's what
I should have done. Yeah, I should have done. By the way, Donna's reminded me one of the things that I noticed in the recording, that my form was really bad. So as always, do what I say, don't do what I do. When we were talking about going from a brush knee to a parry, block, and punch. So let's say we're here, and if I want to go to a parry, block, and punch, I would go to here. This was a movement we made up and come forward. one of the things you have to pay attention to, and this is a note to self, what I was doing last week is I was just bringing this back leg through in a straight line. So I was really just swinging this leg across, which is bad form. It should come in and then go out. Exactly the same principle that Donna just reminded us of. Okay, so let's actually practice the movements associated with those. I don't think we're going to get to Fair Lady Work shuttles today. That's a nice juicy piece of review. Maybe we'll do that next week. But there's a few things I want to review with Embrace Tiger, the arm movements. So let's do Embrace Tiger together, and I'll go through it once and then I'll point out, remind you of a few things. So we're in cross hands. The first thing, shift to the right, turn your left toe in. Now here, getting into our brush knee, drop the right elbow and open the right arm. Then the right arm is going to go up and the left arm is going to go down the way we always do brush knee. So we end up here, brush knee and push. So what I want to remind you of is that the movement that we have coming out of cross hands is we're opening the right arm. So the right elbow is going to drop this way and the right arm is going to extend that way. So it's going to be like this. That will actually give you some space for this left arm to go down, because remember, brush knee, one down, one up, one up, one down. So make sure that you have this movement. So let's just practice that together. So the right arm extends, then right arm up, left arm down, left arm up, right arm down. And here we're back and we're getting to this position, root with the heel, brush knee, and push. So this is a transition movement that it often takes us a while to get comfortable with. So let's just do it a few times. So we're in cross hands. Embrace Tiger, shift weight, turn the left toe in, arms don't change. Sitting back onto the right foot, open the right arm by dropping the elbow now. Left arm down, right arm up, stepping out. When the arms are to the side, heel touch, brush as the foot flattens, striking forward as the knee bends, and check your bow stance. And that's looking so yes, so one of the other things I just want to remind us of is another habit that many of us, including me, have is I might get my front leg right, but you can see my back leg isn't right. My back leg is too bent. My back leg needs to be like this. It's not locked, but it's straight but not locked. So be careful that you don't absorb your back leg too much. Try and keep your back leg almost but not quite locked. One more time. Embrace Tiger. Shifting weight, turn the toe in, sitting back, open the right arm now, swing the arms to the corner, step, brush, and push. And stop. How's that?
Pretty good.
Good. So the next movement here is rollback, which is also actually a tricky movement, but we're going to see it when we do parry, block, and punch in a couple of minutes. So I'm not going to review it here. We're going to review it in white snake or punch, turn body chop with fist to parry, block, and punch. It's the same movement. So we're going to go right bow stance, essentially brush knee right, punch to the groin. Remember, this is what we do after we do the separation kicks. We do the turn, then we do a left brush knee, right brush knee, punch to the groin. So that's where this movement is. Then from punch to the groin, we're going to do parry, block, and punch. And then from there, we're going to do ward off right, step up, ward off right. So let's do that sequence together. So we're in a right brush knee, so right leg forward, bow stance. So shift back, weight, lift the right arm halfway, open the toe, turn the body, palms either side of your center line, you're still looking to the side. That's standard. We do that everywhere. Now, shifting weight forward, deflect down with the left hand, right hand comes to the hip, root, arms to the side, brush and punch down. From here, we're going to do turn body chop with fist. So straightening, I think most of us are probably more than back leg, so straighten your torso in line with the back leg. Now, turn the body. Turn the back foot 135 degrees, arms, left arm over the head, sit back, weight, step out and chop, shift forward, striking out with the left hand, right hand to the hip. Notice we're essentially back in a brush knee. The only difference is that we've got a fist palm up by the hip instead of the palm down, but this is a brush knee. Now we're going to do step up grass bird's tail. Shift weight back halfway, rotate both arms, lift the right arm in front of the shoulder. With body turning, push out with the right arm, pull with the left. So you're now in a rollback position. Circle down both arms for parry, block and punch. Step out, center line to sides. Second parry, block and punch. Let's do that again. I'll face in the other direction. So we've done right brush knee. We're going to do the parry block. We're going to do the punch down sequence. So from here, punch down, shift back weight, lift the right arm halfway, open the right toe, turn the body. Now both arms come down, deflecting with the left, fist by the right hip, shifting forward, bow stance, punching down. Turn body, straighten, align your torso with the back leg. Now with body turning, rotate the fist, right fist, sit, stand up, chop, root, shift forward. This is chop with fist. Now we're going to do parry, block and punch. Shift back weight, rotate the right arm, connect out. Keep moving, circle down, transition step, second parry, block and punch. Step up, grass birds. Oh, by the way, of course, here, just notice you're effectively in a brush knee position. Your hands are just slightly different. Step up, grass bird's tail, shift back, weight, open the left toe, open both arms, close the arms with grab to the left, heel touch, ward off, right. And notice in this ward off right, you're in the other position. So your leading arm is aligned with your leading leg. Your front leg and front arm are out. So that's the other set of bow stances that we'll be reviewing later on. So we're not going to do that one again. I want to talk a little, I just want to go through a few of the highlight reminders of these few movements, and then we'll practice them again. So let me just remind you of a few things. So the first one is we are starting in a right brush knee. So do it here. So as always, we start shifting weight back halfway, lift the right arm, then we're going to turn body, open the right toe. So we're going to go from here and to here. So you can see that my palms, my fingertips are either side of the line through my nose. I've opened my chest, my groin is open here. Shift down, I'm going to deflect with this hand. Somebody's punching, I'm doing a deflect, step out. Storage is finished here. Now I'm going to do release. One release is I'm going to pull their arm away, pull their arm across with my left hand, and then punch down to the knee with the other. So this in fact is release here. And what you may find is to get the fist knee height, you need to have your torso more than 45. If you're like Master Young and you have a bow stance which is something like this, and your torso is in line with your back leg, your fist probably is more or less knee height. But that's not the case for me, and I think for most people who aren't 35. So from here, we're going to do turn body chop with fist. And actually, this is the first thing I learned from Didi, and I will always remember it. So, because it's such a wonderful thing. So from here, I want you to pay attention to your right arm. Your right arm, as you straighten up, is going to come around and sit palm down, and then you're going to chop up and out. But what I want to remind you of is not to just let this right hand float out here. So what I learned from Didi, although she made, I don't know if I learned it right, but as you turn, imagine your right hand is on a rail. Your body is turning, and you can see that as my body turns, it closes, this distance between my forearm and my chest close, but my palm is staying here, so that when I'm in this position, I've got my arm rounded in front of my body here. Then when I step out and root, I can do the chop. Actually, I'm going to do a root and chop here. Okay, let's do those two movements together. So, right bow stance, brush knee and push. Punch down, shift back weight, lift the right arm slightly, turn the right toe, set yourself up, deflect down with the left hand, right fist to the hips, punching down. Turn body chop with fist, align your torso with the legs. Now turn, keeping your right arm rounded in front of your body as your left arm protects your head. Shift back. When the heel touches, you do the chop. Then you shift forward your weight and do the strike with the left. Let's continue from here. Parry, block and punch. So let me just remind you how this one goes. We're going to connect, I'll do it here. So from here, when I start, my left hand is going to rotate up and my right hand is going to rotate to in front of my chest. So I'm starting here. So this is the first thing that happens. Then I'm going to connect out. I can do a roll back from here, which is what we do in Embrace Tiger, but I'm going to do a parry, block and punch, because that's the other option. So what I want to draw your attention to is shifting weight halfway, rotate both arms. So essentially it's from here to here, from here to here, and then connecting out. And when you're connected out, fingertips to forearm center. Then circle down, parry, block and punch. Okay, let's practice just that. We are in the end of turn body chop with fist, right bow stance, right fist by the right hip, left arm out. So shifting weight back halfway, rotate both arms, lift the right hand in front of the shoulder, pushing out. Now circle both arms down, transition step, arms to the side, weight on the right foot, second parry, left heel touches, block, step forward, punch. Let me just watch everybody doing that little sequence. A couple of things I want to highlight, and then we'll do the transition game, is when you do turn body chop with fist, and you're turning, the fist is about stomach height and maybe a little bit past the center line. So it comes down and a little bit past the center line, then it's going to go up and chop forward. And what we always talk about is Pie Shin Chui, it's throwing a mace. So your arm is essentially a stick with a weight on it. So it's going out to here. So it comes from down to up. And then again, likewise, when you've done your turn, you're starting in this position. The left hand is high, the right hand is low. You're actually going to come to here. This arm that was over your head is going to sit in front of your shoulder. Chop. The other thing I just want to remind us is that when we do the punch for parry, block, and punch, you're punching straight out from the shoulder. So make sure that your arm isn't here. I'm exaggerating a little bit, more than a little bit, but you're punching out from the shoulder, so it's straight. Slight bend, of course, but it's not here. It's here, if you can, if your shoulder allows that. Yep, good. Time passes too quickly. There's too much fun, too many fun things. But I'm determined to play the transition game because it was so much fun last time. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to go from 74, any of the Repulse monkeys, to 42, punch down. Repulse monkey to punch down. Let's take a couple of minutes. So I think this is the solution we've come up with. We're in the Repulse monkey, right leg forward. We're going to open the right toe. The left arm is going to come across and deflect the opponent down. We're going to step, and then we're going to punch down. So essentially we are going to go from here, deflect, step forward, punch down. So the other solution is, or another solution is, if you want to, if your opponent's coming from the side, which is a Lin solution, is you change here. You would probably bring the right arm over to do the deflect and then punch down. So that would be that movement. That's a good solution too.
Yeah, you would have to add the extra arm thing though, otherwise it would, yeah.
Yes, yes. 同学们，再见。
再见，
老许，
是再
再见。
见。